Hi, my name is Rob Smith. I'm the president of the Almond Glen Owners Association, and I want to take a few minutes to talk to everybody about some things that we have a need for here in the community. We have some leadership positions, if you will, that we need to fill up, and I need to reach out and just ask for interested parties to come forward and talk to us. Um, Point of contact on this is going to be the Almond Glen Owners Association's email address, which is almondglenhoa at gmail.com, almondglenhoa at gmail.com. I'm also going to post the information along with this video. It'll be available on the Almond Glen HOA website. So you may have got this through a link that was posted on Facebook or Nextdoor, but please don't reply there. Just send us an email. That way we know that we're making this available to everybody we can. We're also going to send it out through an email blast, so it may go through that. And then, of course, there's word of mouth. So if you're not interested necessarily, but you think somebody else might be, please have them get in touch with us. We are losing our landscaping. We've affectionately called her the landscaping czar. As a joke, we made it the all-powerful landscaping position. We're losing our landscape committee chairperson, which is Bridget Desiree. Bridget has sold her home. We're excited and saddened at the same time to see Bridget and Dan make that sale. It was something they needed to do for their own purposes, and we're really wishing them a lot of good luck in the future. But that means we're losing Bridget. Bridget has been taking care of the landscaping for the last couple years, and anybody who can remember how things were handled before Bridget focused on that, it's helped out a lot. Before, that was something that, as the president, there was nobody else to take those duties on, so I would take those duties along with everything else I was always trying to do, plus all my personal life, and that's a lot for one person. The board of directors is always there to help out, but everybody's split in different directions. You can't always expect that just because somebody's willing to serve on the board of directors that they're also going to drop everything and take on all these extra duties. So sorry to see Bridget go, but with her leaving, that leaves us with 3 positions that I'd like to see some people step in and help out with. We've done away with, over the last couple of years, we did away with committees in their traditional sense. It's not that we don't want traditional committees, but the difference is maybe between what we're doing versus a traditional committee would simply be that a traditional committee would be a group of people. We used to shoot for 5 people just to kind of match what the board has. That group of 5 people would join, say, the landscaping committee. One person would serve as a chairperson. They would have a meeting. They would vote on things. They would make changes throughout the community as they needed to. And then that committee reported back through their chairperson to the board. And the only problem with that is it's hard to get people to commit to a long-term thing like being on a committee. I understand it takes a lot of time and everybody's got their ongoing lives. Sometimes we can get people to volunteer to do one thing, like for instance, if somebody wants to do the fall festival, or they want to do a pool opening party or an end of the year party or something, people will be willing to, hey, I'd like to do this event and jump in. But to say, we want you to serve on a committee where you're always responsible for those things, that gets to be kind of difficult, and we lose people very quickly. We burn people out. So what we did a couple years ago, I think officially we started it up as a mainstream thing with all committees as of last year, 2016. No, it was a 2017 season, 2016-2017 season. Anyways, we started up. What we did is we said we'll just have one person assigned to the committee as a permanent party of the committee. So the chairperson position is filled. For instance, Janine Bell was our chairperson for the pool committee. And then Bridget Desiree is the chairperson for our landscaping committee. We've not had the other one. The architectural committee was headed up by Shanda, who also became a board member. And then we've not had a committee for the townhomes in years. So what we've done instead is we said, hey, we'll have one person serve as our chairperson, and then you can reach out for help as you see fit. That allows people to kind of jump in and help out if they want to. It allows a lot of flexibility for people and an opportunity for them to take ownership. And then those people report back to the board. It's worked so far for us, and we actually saw great improvement in how things ran once we instituted that. So without further ado, what I'd like to do is ask for some interested parties to reach out to the board who might want to take on these 3 positions: the landscaping committee chairperson, the architectural committee chairperson, and the pool committee chairperson. The landscaping committee chairperson is responsible for the landscaping throughout the neighborhood. That means any common areas to include the townhomes. And unless we get a lot of interest in somebody taking over townhomes as a thing, and then we could do something specific for them. But the way things work right now is Bridget's position, she would meet with the landscaping people sometimes on a daily basis, weekly basis, just depending on what kind of work they were doing. She would plan projects that she thought were important to the neighborhood. She would figure out what kind of flowers were going to go in and out. It's really something that somebody with a lot of passion for landscaping can do well at. It was very helpful that Bridget speaks Spanish. She's bilingual, and a lot of our contractors were Spanish speaking, to include our main the foreman for U.S. Lawns, who works our area. He's bilingual, but his native tongue is Spanish, and it was much easier for them to be very comfortable with each other. So that was a great characteristic. So if you happen to be bilingual and you also have a passion for landscaping, you may be the person for us. This position means a little bit of planning has to go into it. It's probably the more involved, because landscaping is something that for the most part happens throughout the year. You're either planning for the incoming spring stuff, or you're working your way up. Once winter comes on, obviously, like most things, it drops off. But it's the more dynamic of the positions for the longer period of time. A lot more involvement, but it also has a lot of control over what happens and what people see throughout the neighborhood. The flowers and the landscaping really do affect our neighborhood on a big, major basis. So that person would be responsible for planning out what projects they want to see done. They would look at the landscaping contract. They would look at how things operate within the neighborhood, and then they go to the board and just say, hey, this is the budget I think I'll need going into next year. The board looks at that budget and looks at those planned projects, and then makes a decision as to whether or not they're going to fund them or not. They also give a little guidance as to, the board might say, listen, we want to see these things happen in the neighborhood, or we'd like to see you accomplish this specific project. And for instance, say we wanted to put a gazebo by the pool. That's not something we planned for. But that might be something we'd go to landscaping and say, hey, a gazebo area with a little patio area to it, or a little flower area around it. And we might say to the landscaping person, we'd like you to do that, and then that person would go out and figure out, okay, this is how I would do it, this is what it would look like, and this is how much it'll cost, and the board would say, okay, yeah, that's fine, we'll approve that. Gives you a lot of control, because you're responsible for the budget, and that means that you get to decide whether or not you're going to use that budget in specific areas, how you want to use it. It also means you have control over U.S. Lawns, for instance. If you don't like U.S. Lawns as a company, you've always thought they were terrible, go out and get new bids, come to the board and say, hey, I want to adjust things, I want to bring in this new company, and that's your prerogative. The board will back you on that. The other positions, the pool, again, very, very big deal with the pool. Same thing, U.S. Lawns, you become the point of contact for U.S. Lawns, or not U.S. Lawns, I'm sorry, for Aquatech. You become the point of contact for Aquatech. You have the codes to the pool, the access. You get to make decisions about what we do with the pool, when it opens and closes. You're going to work, obviously, with people within the neighborhood. It could be your committee members you go to. Generally, it's going to be probably your friends. We understand that. If there's people who are interested in serving on that board or on that committee, we would say, hey, this is who you need to go to and get with. Want you to build a rapport with Aquatech. Again, same thing. If you don't like Aquatech, this would be your opportunity to choose a new pool company. Bring them in, get budgeting, or get bids, figure out how much money you need going into the next year, present that budget to the board, and then come up with plans. Thanks to Janine, we were able to make adjustments where we were able to open the pool for longer hours throughout the year, make adjustments to the lifeguarding situation where we moved it over to somebody who was being an attendant at the pool and taking care of the pool. If you've got ideas for the pool, ways that you'd like to see the money that we spend on the pool spent, that's a big position for you. And then the last position being the architectural committee. This one is one that over the years we've tried to figure out what we're going to do with the architectural committee. How do we want to use the architectural committee? If you're somebody who is passionate about the way the neighborhood looks in general and the way that the CC&Rs are being applied, and the way that the I guess the delinquencies, the fines, not that I don't want to say that, but just the way that we handle people who aren't taking care of stuff. You see a lot of things around the neighborhood that you think more people should be pressure washing, or more people should be edging and cleaning up and mowing and that kind of stuff, this would be the position for you. The opportunity to have full impact over how inspections are conducted, when they're conducted, and then reports to the board on the violations that you find. That's what I was looking for, is violations. The violations that you find throughout the neighborhood and how we address those violations. I think that this could be a pivotal year for the Architectural Committee to really step in. Now this one would be a little more, I guess we need more of a formal committee for this. The Architectural Committee can be made up of board members, but it's nice to have at least 3 people involved in the Architectural Committee, so that when we end up in a situation where somebody is told you need to do this specific thing, for instance, a fence that's falling apart, and the Architectural Committee says, we've noticed this violation, and the board goes to them and says, here's your violation, there has to be a process in place where a person can be told, you have 30 days, for instance, to fix this violation. The person comes back and says, I can't do it in 30 days. What do I do now? Then you need to have a hearing of sorts, and the hearing is an opportunity for somebody to come into the Architectural Committee, maybe a dual Architectural Committee board committee. I don't know how we do it exactly, but they need to have the opportunity to come before that group of people and say, I can't do it in 30 days. It's going to take me 6 months to get that project done because of the money and everything that goes into it, and then those people to give them an opportunity to fix things. This is a position where you need to be above reproach. I would not want to be on the Architectural Committee and issuing out violations to people with a home that is a disaster. So I would say that those with homes that are falling apart probably wouldn't be the best time for you to step forward. You also need to have a fair and even hand on this. If your goal is to get on the Architectural Committee because you just want to go through the neighborhood and just lay down the law, that would probably not be the position for you. And you have to have thick skin. You might have to take a violation every once in a while yourself, and you'll probably make some people upset. Of course, ultimately, everything it goes back to the board. The pool, the Architectural Committee, the landscaping, these are positions where people can have a lot of influence, but not necessarily the board can just go, well, we didn't do it, it was the pool guy. The board's always responsible for what they do. The management company didn't do it. The Architectural Committee didn't do it. It's always the board. It's not something we can hand off. So we also, people who are interested, maybe you don't have the time to run the committee, but you'd like to have some influence to be a part of it, that would be great. Something that I really think that this neighborhood needs, we have a lot of people who move in, we have a lot of new homes, people selling homes and stuff. There's times where our records, the homeowner association records, the management company records, due to closings and the way they work and the attorneys, we don't always have the most up-to-date information on who even lives in the neighborhood. There's new neighbors moved in just down the street from me today, and I hope to get a chance to say hi to them. We don't always know who moves in, and nobody really welcomes them. We don't have a welcoming committee. At one point we had a social committee that ran some of our events, and we had kind of hoped they would become a welcoming committee. It never worked out. This would be a position for the social butterflies of the neighborhood. There's a lot of people who are always on social media. They're always out there talking. You're the ones that are out there organizing little get-togethers, things like that. This is a position for you. It would take paying attention to who's living in the neighborhood and who just moved in, paying attention to homes that are up for sale, networking abilities so that you can be aware that, hey, a new family just moved in. Organizational stuff. I don't want 10 families to move in and you only go and say hi to 8 of them. People start to wonder, well, why didn't you come see me? I don't get it. I thought there was this committee I heard about, and people talked about how, oh yeah, they're going to come by and bring you brownies or whatever. Maybe a little bit of, I drive by the Welcome Center, the South Carolina Welcome Center all the time. I'd be happy to go by and pick up some pamphlets and things like that. Collecting those kinds of pamphlets, going and putting together things to kind of give people resources of welcome to the new community. Are you new to the state? We want to give you information about your area here. Are you new to this entire area? Are you from someplace completely on the other side of the country? We've got people who moved from as far away as Alaska that I know of, and I'm sure, India, we've got people from all over the world who moved here. So some of those experiences could be really handy. If you're interested in something like that, I'd really love to have you as a part of this type of a group, to go out, welcome people to the community, kind of give them some guidelines, let them know. A lot of people don't know what an HOA is. They don't know how it works, and or they could have misconceptions based off of neighborhoods they've lived in before, where all the HOAs seem to be good for was telling them when they didn't mow their grass that day it was an inch too high, and getting them in trouble for stuff and issuing out fines. We want to be a welcoming neighborhood. We've always been that way, and I think it's important that we continue to be that way. So, architectural committee, landscaping committee, pool committee, and welcoming committee. If we don't get anybody to do those things, that'll be me. I'll be doing it all. So, I mean, of course, I've got the board to help me out. I'm sure they will, but I can't promise anybody else's time. So, there will probably be less of a welcoming committee. I'm not able to figure out what's going on all the time. And the pool will open and close when the pool opens and closes. The landscaping will get done when the U.S. Lawns mows the grass. And architectural stuff will continue to be, when I get a list, I'll try to check the boxes and have the management company do their thing. I like better involvement than that. We can't rely on AMG to do everything for us. This is our community. It's not theirs. If you let the management company try to do it all for you, they'll check the boxes like they're supposed to, but they will not put the passion into it. So thanks. Hope everybody's doing well preparing for any kind of inclement weather we're going to have over the next week. I know this may not be at the top of your list with the inclement weather coming, but at least I'm not talking about what category of whatever anything is, so, or eclipses. So we're good on that. Take care. Hope everybody's doing well, and thanks for watching the video.